Welcome. I am Dr. Pam Perry. Thank you so much for joining everyone. As people come in, I'm going to keep my eye open on the chat, eye open on letting people in. My co-host here is Geoff, and Geoff is going to be doing the presentation. We're going to share screen in a minute. I would say, Derek, if you could mute your camera, it's a little distracting because I see you moving around. So if you could take your camera off, that would be good. There. Thank you. Thank you. Because that was just like too much, too much squirrel. I'm looking at that. It's like, okay, it's too much. I want to make sure you're okay. Hey, Geoff. So we're going to go over LinkedIn. But first, I want to say, first and foremost, I love LinkedIn. Out of all the social media, I love LinkedIn. I talk about it all the time. Why? Because we're business people. It's like the grown folks Facebook, right? And there's TikTok. You've seen me cut up on TikTok, and I love to dance. And I also have a very strong IG. I actually have 3 IG accounts. I have 5 Twitter accounts, but you can only have 1 LinkedIn account. Now you can have pages, but LinkedIn is really what I call the professional people's network. You really won't find as much fake or fraud on LinkedIn because it's almost like forging your resume. And who does that? So LinkedIn is where people really can understand who you are professionally. They can see your accreditations, your education. They can see where your work history, more importantly, and they can also see all the people that you're connected with at a glance. I love LinkedIn. This is what this is about. I have roughly, I think it's like 20,000 on LinkedIn. There's no way that I personally can message everybody. Automation will save your life. And that's what this webinar is about. So we are going to sit back, listen. It'll be interactive. I will allow Geoff to introduce himself. Just so you know, Hunter and Geoff both are with Onedery. Thank you all so much. So my word for the year was leverage, which is automation. And the other word, and they know I talk about that with the Ready, Set, Go Speak folks, is collaboration. So this is really the first collaboration type of event that I've done this year. So, and it's May already. So collaboration is really, really key. So Wondery is a great product. We have tested it. It is just like a game changer for everyone. So I want to bring it to you, especially those in the Ready, Set, Go Speak community as well, because they know I try to share all the secrets. So with that, I'm going to let Geoff, or maybe Hunter, if you want to say a few words, or maybe Geoff, you can introduce Hunter because both of you guys are for Wondery. So with that, I'm going to pin you and let you go.
Right. Thank you so much, Pam. I'm thrilled to be here, thrilled to be one of your first collaboration partners of the year. This is exciting for all of us. And you did a great job introing and kind of talking about LinkedIn itself because it is such a powerful, powerful system. But as most might know, it's also labor intensive. So we're going to get into some really cool strategies on how automations can help reduce the amount of time you spend nurturing and prospecting and trying to get new relationships started in the LinkedIn ecosystem. As you mentioned, my name is Geoff Cheney. I'm the owner and founder of a company called Onedery, Onedery.com. And with me today is Hunter, my business partner, who's joined me as well. And the irony is that Hunter and I have been working together for years now, but it never would have happened if it wasn't for LinkedIn. It was actually because of one of my LinkedIn automation campaigns that was running in the background while I slept that Hunter engaged. He responded. He said, "Hey, man, let's meet." And next thing you know, we're playing golf on weekends. We're talking business, and years later, we're partners. So that's my own testimonial for LinkedIn and the power of it. Hunter, anything you want to share before I jump into the presentation?
No, I'm excited. I'm a believer too, of course. I've been a marketing and software person for over a decade, and this is something really special. We have a number of tools that we've built, we've optimized, and we've delivered for over 40 mid-market companies that we serve. And Pam and I and Mark go way back, actually. And so, what part of what you're going to see is you're going to see some of these tools over the next few webinars, and we're going to we made special arrangements with Pam and Mark to put these at a price that is just gonna it's a very good price. Let's put it that way. And so what we intend to do here is to show you the value that you're going to get out of all this and how much business it can bring to you over the course of a year.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, Hunter, we met, we call it before the pandemic. So that was years ago, and we were actually working on a government project, and you all helped us with that particular contract and that sort of thing. So, and that was LinkedIn again, one of
Yep.
those tools that don't sleep on LinkedIn.
Yeah, no kidding. No
hmm
kidding.
hmm
All right, so I've been working with the small business space for years, literally going back probably 15 years with various different software technologies, but always trying to find ways to leverage kind of enterprise concepts and provide those to the average person, the average small business owner who typically thinks that some of these tools are just out of reach for them. So that's been my obsession over the years. Fast forward, and we had just gone public with one of our companies. I finished a 3-year engagement agreement, had a successful exit from that company, went on to start a venture studio where we acquired, it was actually 13 different SaaS technology companies, and we standardized our internal operations and our lead generation. And LinkedIn was at the core of the strategy for every one of these companies. So we've spent years developing the concepts I'm going to share with you guys today. And this is going to be workshop style. So I hope you brought your pen, pad to write, make some notes. I'm going to be sending you some follow-up as well, because a lot of the things I'm going to show you, you can start doing and implementing right away. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. So let's talk about LinkedIn and a strategy for best leveraging it, right? So it all starts, number one, with your profile. And this kind of goes without saying. You got to go in and update your profile before you start sending messages and connecting with people. But what I want to talk about is profile optimization. Uh, so many people, and I would say, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that probably 7 out of 10 do not have a complete LinkedIn profile. They've kind of gone in and done the minimum. They either don't have a header image, or they haven't put in a proper description. They haven't updated their contact information. So what I'm going to show you today is a client of mine. Her name's Ashley. She works for an amazing nonprofit organization called Wounded Warrior Family Support. And Ashley, as you can see, is almost brand new to LinkedIn. She's only got 43 connections. So the first thing we did for her is we went in and completed the profile optimization, where I go through a series of steps to make sure that everything is done. And that includes, a good, strong descriptor, adding in contact information and things of this nature. Now you can always add more. There's more we could do, but what I go for is I want to check every box that LinkedIn requires in order to verify her authenticity. So that's really what profile optimization is all about. It's telling LinkedIn, I'm a real person. I have real work history. I have contact information that can be verified. Those things will drastically impact your volume and what LinkedIn allows you to do. So what I mean by that is the number of invites you can send, the number of messages you can send, the number of pages you can view. LinkedIn will actually throttle you as a user and reduce your output if it doesn't trust you. So by profile optimization, and I'm going to share with everybody this guide. This is my LinkedIn profile optimization guide, and I am going to give this to you completely for free. So if I don't cover all the details, don't worry, you can follow the guide and go through. But let me just summarize here. Great header image. So if a header image does not need to be cluttered up with a bunch of words. You don't need your phone number and your website and tons of verbiage up there. It's okay if you do have some, but the purpose of the header is to give everybody kind of a visual aid as to who you are, what you do, the industry you're in. And then moving on, and I don't need to offend anybody who has words in their header. That's fine if they're there. But the main thing is you don't need to use it. You don't feel obligated to do that. It needs to be more of a visual representation of who you are.
Mhm.
Your headshot, it should be of you and it should be of your head. This, believe it or not, I see all the time people post things like this where you get these distant shots, or they're using avatars that don't look like them. The litmus test here is if somebody connects with you and later you pass them in the hallway, you should be able to recognize that person. Hey, that's somebody I just connected with. So it does it need to be a professional headshot? Not necessarily. This you can take a good quality headshot. You can run it through AI if you want to, but you don't need to. The at the end of the day, people need to recognize you. They want to see your face.
Mhm.
So don't do group photos. Don't do a picture of you up on stage as your profile. Don't do one of you skiing down a hillside because nobody will know who you are.
Mhm. And no
Next,
logos. Logos save that for a company page, but not for your personal page.
exactly. And you can put your logo right up in that header too.
Mhm.
This is a great little you go to Canva, literally go to Canva, start a new project and type in the words LinkedIn header. And it
Yeah,
will
give it the
provide to
size.
you a whole bunch of templates to use. So don't overthink it. Canva will do most of the work. It takes about 5 minutes to put one together and then get that uploaded.
Mhm.
So moving on here, I'll also cover some things about headline. What I like to do with headline is, and again, going back, this is your opportunity. Somebody lands on this page, and before they start scrolling, you have about 3 seconds to communicate to them who you are, what you do, and who you serve. So this is where you get to tell that little miniature elevator pitch. So here we can see Director of Operations at the 501(c)(3) Wounded Warrior Family Support in Dunham House, proudly serving wounded veterans and their families in our community. And then right underneath that, we have Omaha, Nebraska. So I know who you are, who you serve, where you are. This is a perfect little snapshot. Now, this is not necessarily this section. This is your header. Or your title, your header title. This oftentimes gets used for just your position or title in your company. So sometimes you'll see people just put like CEO. And it's
Mhm.
like, no, no, no. You got all this room. You can add 3 or 4 lines here and really tell your story in this short and sweet way. I like to break it up using these little like spacers here. So if you want to you add in a little spacer, you can kind of give multiple thoughts without having it need to flow like a complete paragraph.
Mhm.
That's just a little technique. I generally do that for all my profile optimizations, just so we can kind of segment out at least normally 3 main things about you and about the value you bring. Okay. We're going to move on now. I'm going to scroll down a little bit and talk about experience. Experience is important, absolutely, but also the profile, the company you're connecting to. Make sure it's the correct company. This is a common error. People will add experience to their profile, type in a company name, and it's not the actual company page. So when someone clicks on it, they don't land on the company page where they can see more about who you are and who you serve and so on. So make sure you're actually linking to the correct company page.
That is the number one error. We don't want
Yeah, I
those
see that.
little, we don't
Oh,
want those little blue boxes, the little blank, little shadow blue boxes.
right, exactly.
Mhm.
So I'll pop back over here to my guide, contact information. So contact information, this is probably the second most common mistake, is your contact information is outdated or no longer relevant. So what you want to do is just update that. It takes minutes, literally just minutes to do. Um, and I'm actually going to duplicate this and just show you, since I'm logged in as me.
Yeah, because if you don't put your contact information, what's the point of being in the social networking if you're not gonna network?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, the idea here is you want to give people whatever method they are most comfortable with engaging you, whether it's a phone call, an email address, going to your website. But this is very commonly outdated. So it's
Yeah.
normally the first thing I look at is, hey, is this still your phone number? And believe it or not, most people are like, ooh, yeah, no. I
Hmm.
had that phone number in years. Um, so if you click the little pencil icon, you can fill in all of these relevant spaces. But another one that I want to encourage you to use is down at we'll definitely put in website.
Yeah.
That's a really important one. And then let's see. Well, it looks like they moved. It used to be on this page. I think they actually moved it because the other thing you can add in, if you have, I believe this is only with paid accounts. Now, we work with free accounts. paid accounts, Sales Navigator accounts. We can work with all of them. That's not a problem. But some of them will allow you to put in a custom link here. So, and you
Hmm.
can change the link from the website to an actual call to action. So that's another one that you want to activate.
I think my call to action is the quiz, I believe, but I do have that as well.
And I think I found where it moved to. Yes, I did. So when you're on your profile picture, if you click this pencil icon,
Hmm.
not contact info, but this one over here, and it should be all the way at the bottom.
And it'll have something that says link
Back.
text. Your link text. So
So
the
that's
100 leads for free. Yep.
the next thing is we want to tell LinkedIn what we do, like what our services are. And most people do not have services turned on their profile.
Oh my
This is
God.
how you're going to get organic traffic to your page because people will actually go to LinkedIn, do a search, and they can search by service and find people who provide that as a service. So this, in order to turn on services, you actually need to click on the add profile section. And in some cases, it will prompt you to do this anyway, but most people don't. But if you click on add profile section, there'll be an add services, and it's grayed out for me because I've already done it. But this is a great way, and I encourage you to go through all these add-ons and just find something that might be relevant to you. Maybe you want to add your licenses and certifications, or spotlight some projects you've worked on or courses you've taken. Um,
Hmm.
Go through all of these and just find the ones that are most relevant to you and your organization. But services at a minimum. Why? It is going to actually open up a whole new page, and this is your services page. From here, you can explain the services that you provide. You can put in all of these essentially like hashtags and categories of areas of expertise, upload media so people can actually view your videos and things of that nature. And they can even message you directly through here and connect with you and request your services.
Can
Um,
you,
so
Geoff, can you, for projects, do you have projects that you have worked on?
I haven't added any projects, but it
Okay.
is, yep,
So what I would suggest for those of you who are speakers is to add wherever you have spoken, put that in there as a project, and then put in a picture of you speaking at that
apps
particular project or event.
or upload a video. You can do any type of media.
Yes. Oh my God. You know that I love that. So yeah. So that is something services and projects so they can see what other places you have spoken.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
under when you're adding your services, it's going to max you out at 10. So
Okay.
just and you can't you have to select from their list of services.
Oh,
So
okay.
find the one that's most relevant to you and add those. All right. So I'm going to go back over to my profile. Uh, now that we've done the spotlight on services. And the next section is featured. This
I
is
love the
another
featured section.
exact.
I'm the featured queen.
So this is where you can feature articles that have been, you can take any post that you've already done or any article you've written, and you can feature it here.
Mhm.
Um, so this is a great one to just kind of fill out the visual and the credibility of your page. I'm a big fan of the features. And I
I
don't think there's
featured, yeah, I featured Dr. Angela. She's the cover girl for May. So you're in my feature section and you're pinned there. And the features, you can leave them there forever, or you can always update them. I update them often, but people can always go back and look at your features. They may not always go back and look at your posts, but they look at your features. So please use that. Please use that.
Next, I'm going to drop a little tip that I will bet most nobody except Hunter on this call knows about. And I'd almost put money on that. Um, when you make a post, like you can see here, I posted this morning actually a story on how Google is moving to monetize its AI chatbots.
What?
So, I've got my copy. I wrote my copy. I posted an article. So I linked to the article if somebody wants to read more. But notice, we pulled in the visual aid to go along with this. So this image obviously speaks to those who are seeing it. They see it and they go, ah, this is about Google and AI because the image says that. But what search engines don't know is what this image is displaying.
The alt
And
text.
LinkedIn is amazingly SEO rich. When you're doing a search on Google or any search engine, content that's coming up and profiles that are coming up, if you search for like industry expert in my area, you'll very often see LinkedIn profiles coming up. And if they search by images, you want this image or your images related to your article or your post to populate there. So let me show you a little trick. We're going to click on edit. I'm going to edit this post. And Hunter, I got to give you full credit for this one because I didn't even know this until you taught me this trick. So when you edit your post, you can then edit your image and you can add alternate text to your image. This is
Yes.
telling the internet what this image is about.
Mm-hmm.
You can add almost an unlimited number of keyword rich things here to tell the internet what this is all about. Hunter, yeah, comment.
Um, yeah, this is a great feature. If you do one or two images, it's not going to do a lot. So it needs to be an ongoing process that you're going to build a process. I'm going to syndicate two pieces of social media a week, and then once a month, I'm going to go in and take 15 minutes and just do them all. That's fine. But it's not going to get done with one or two posts. And then the other piece of it, and Geoff, I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, but I just want to make sure that because everyone's using GPT-4 and beyond, um, GPT-4 actually inserts markers on all of the text that they generate. So what you probably should do with the text that's generated is bring it back to like a Word document or something like that, clear the formatting, and then post it in. Because otherwise, it'll mark that it was generated by AI, and Google's and LinkedIn's and all these search engine bots that are picking it up. It'll just pass right over it and say, no, that was generated by AI. That might be a bot. And you want to appear, of course, as a human to any search engine, right? So just make sure that you wash and clear formatting before you go and enter that if you're going to use AI to generate it.
I love that. Wash your GPT.
They call it fingerprinting. So there. Imagine a space in a paragraph. There's a literal space set to zero, so it's an invisible space, and the search engines can see what's inside that space. But when you look at it as words on a document, you don't see it at all. It doesn't exist. So it's hidden things embedded into your copy that you're getting out of ChatGTP so that they know it was created on GTP. This is
Mm.
how kids get caught trying to cheat at their school, is because there's systems out there to determine, hey, was that generated by AI? Boom, red flag.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Okay,
That's good. That was worth the price of the tea right there.
yeah, this is a great tip, and I'm not good about going in and following this as much as I should be. But like Hunter said, you can do it once a month. You can just budget 10 minutes, pop into there, and go, okay, update the 6 articles and a few posts that I've done, and just knock it all out at once. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail about work history. We talked about that. Education, very important. Make sure your education is in here. Licenses and certifications, skills, of course. Skills are things that people can endorse you for. So you want to get your skills entered in. You will max out at 50. But to get started, if you don't have any, you just need to add in 5 or 6, and that will essentially what that does is when somebody connects with you, it LinkedIn will prompt them to endorse you for that skill. And there's ways that our automation can actually endorse your prospects. So when you're reaching out to people, it will automatically endorse them for one of their top 5 listed skills. So it's a way of kind of giving value in lieu of them responding. And if you're trying to get that initial conversation going.
That's true. That's a good way.
Skills and endorsements are different than recommendations. Recommendations, you have to be first degree connected, and it's a written testimonial. So these you actually have to request. Generally, you can send a request by clicking the plus icon, get somebody to write you something nice. Easiest way to do that, do it first for them. write them an endorsement or write them a recommendation and then ask for them to write one in return. Most people will. It's a great way to kind of boost your profile very, very quickly.
And they're not posted until you are actually approve it in case there's like I say, hey, this is great, but you misspelled my name or whatever.
Exactly. So this will absolutely turn your LinkedIn profile into a magnet because now you've told LinkedIn who you are. You've clearly articulated your elevator pitch, so to speak. You've added your contact information. You've listed off your services. So any way that somebody could find you now, LinkedIn can let you be found.
Mm-hmm.
That is key. The next thing is prospecting. So I'm going to kind of transition here from LinkedIn, from profile optimization into prospecting.
Okay.
So let's go back to the story of Ashley. So Ashley, as I mentioned, she's wonderful. She's great, but she is new to LinkedIn, doesn't have a big network to leverage. So we need to get her connected. So who does she want to connect with? Well, Ashley's running a campaign right now where we want to get her and people in her organization on podcasts. We want to bring awareness to WWFS and its sister company called Dunham House. So we're reaching out via LinkedIn to people who own and operate podcasts and also might have a veteran affiliation, a military affiliation, right? That would be a perfect list. So how does Ashley, number one, find those people in a sea of over 1 billion people on LinkedIn? I'm going to show you exactly how we did it. So using the search filters. So these search filters appear up here in the top bar. And to access the search filters, if you don't see them, because sometimes they will kind of be hidden, I'll show you what it looks like. So from the main page, the search filters don't show up by default. Easiest way to get them to pop up is just click here in the search and press the enter key. And that is going to bring up all the filters.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already pre-configured this one, and this is the exact strategy that Ashley is turning on for her LinkedIn outreach as we speak. First, we're targeting people because we want to be able to talk to them. You can't talk to companies, you can only talk to people. Then we're going for second and third, meaning people she has not already connected with. We're targeting those in the United States, specifically those in the United States whose previous work history is U.S. Army, U.S. Air Force, U.S. Navy, and U.S. Marine Corps. So we know they're a veteran. Then we're looking for people who are owner, CEO, and or have the word podcast in their title. And we also included the word podcast here as a keyword to search for in their profile. And look, this has generated us a list of all of these individuals. I love this one, actually. Chelsea Gray, founder at Spotlight Strategies, veteran, business growth partner for visionary leaders. She runs a podcast about veteran-related topics.
There you
This
go.
is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many of them. There's actually over 550 people who meet this exact criteria. So I show this list to Ashley, and of course she's like, oh, this is amazing. How do we get in touch with them?
Yeah,
So
that's a whole lot of cut. That's a whole lot of cut and pasting if she had to do it by hand.
Exactly. So just imagine we've got somebody in the waiting room, so I'm going to let him in.
Yeah, I let him. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So just imagine, in order to get this conversation started, you're going to have to click the connect button. You're going to have to write a personalized message. Then you're going to have to wait probably a few days, maybe in a few weeks before they accept your invite to connect. And then once they do, you need to go back in, send them that outreach message, and then you're going to wait a few days. If they don't respond, you're going to have to follow up again. And on average, you're going to have to send probably between 3 and 7 touch points in order to get that conversation started. So what we've done is we've made it possible for our system to connect to your LinkedIn profile and do all of the heavy lifting and all the repetitive actions on your behalf in the background, maximizing what your LinkedIn profile is allowed to do. So we're not trying to circumvent the rules and say, hey, we're going to get you way more LinkedIn connections than LinkedIn allows. That's not the goal here. Think of it as your personal assistant. This machine is using your profile to get you connected with the right prospects for you and automatically send those invites. Check to see if there's a response. If there's no response detected, automatically send a follow-up message and keep giving those nudges. So let me show you how we do it.
I love
This
that.
URL right here, all of this that you see, this contains everything our system needs to know in order to recreate this exact search result. So I'm going to pop into a tool called LinkSynced. LinkSynced is a company that I own and have, well, actually acquired back in 2020. And this system is designed to do everything I just talked about. Now you'll notice big bunch of goose eggs, right? This is because Ashley's campaign is not yet turned on. We are going to turn it on live on this call. I'll show you how.
Okay.
So what we've done, we've connected Ashley's account to LinkSynced. We're going to go in and create an audience. And this audience, using that URL that I had, imported 518 contacts. Now with that, we're getting email addresses, we're getting websites, we're getting phone numbers, their first and last name, their title, we even get birth dates, because all of this data is in LinkedIn. And so when we import this list of prospects, it's pulling all those data points with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, some people have their privacy settings turned on to not allow their contact information to be shared. Totally fine. We completely respect that. We're not pulling it, we're not scraping data that's not allowable or that's not made public.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a phone number there, you got it. But if you don't, that's just is what it is because of the privacy settings. Now, if we wanted to go through and scrub this list, we certainly could. We could turn off ones that were like, no, that's not a good fit. I'll clean this up a little bit. No problem. The next thing we're going to do is activate what's called a sequence. A sequence is the series of actions you want the system to take on your behalf. So in this case, I'm going to select the one that I created, which is an outreach, nonprofit, veteran-based podcast. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to hit next. Just like that, the automation is running. This time tomorrow, she'll probably have her first 10, maybe 15 invitations have been sent, and the system is going to trickle those invitations out at a pace that is normal and follows normal human behavior, because LinkedIn doesn't like to see anything robotic.
Right.
When something doesn't look right, it throws up a red flag and says, hey, this is not normal behavior. Like, you need to check your account, make sure you didn't get hacked, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our system follows all the behaviors that a regular person would, and we can adjust these based on our intensity. So we can say, hey, how many follows, how many invitations per day? And you know what? For her, I'm actually going to turn this way down because she's got a relatively new profile. So for this next week, we're just going to trickle it out. We're not going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Now we can also set the time zone so that it's sending out messages in a time zone that's relevant to her. And so in this case, I'm going to change this to Central Time. And then we can also decide whether it runs on weekends, if we want to be where it's only sending out messages and invites during business hours, and on business days, that's not as well. It will only send messages, as I mentioned, during business hours. So that's another reason why this is important, because from 8 to 5, it's active. After that, it turns off and lets everybody go to sleep, so you're not getting invites and messages in the middle of the night. So our action sequence that we developed, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. It's a workflow that basically says, what's the first thing you want me to do with this LinkedIn profile? Well, the first thing is send invite to connect. And we can include a custom message with that, and it'll automatically put in their first name, pull that in.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, we say, hey, Jack, we serve military veterans and their families, would love to connect. So this is the message that goes along with the invite to connect. So they haven't accepted yet. The system is now going to wait until they accept the invite to connect. And then one day later, if there's no response detected, then it's going to send a follow-on message. If you're currently podcasting and looking for guests, I'd love to chat. I mentioned we serve veterans and their families and hope to book my CEO on a few shows to share some of the amazing stories. Would you be interested in discussing this further? Notice, I'm not sending a diatribe. I'm not trying to explain everything. I'm just getting right to the point, very direct. And notice, no signature. I also didn't have a hi, Geoff. You know why? Because these are just messages in LinkedIn. These are these messages over here. And everybody who keeps putting hi Jeffrey, hi Jeffrey, hi Jeffrey, you immediately think this isn't a real person. And also, if you're sending a whole bunch of content that I didn't ask for, now you're just kind of annoying me.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't put a website in there either because they didn't ask for that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So now it's going to wait for a response. 5 days later, it's going to endorse them for a skill automatically. And then what that does, LinkedIn actually sends them a notification that says, Geoff just endorsed you for
Yeah.
this skill. So they go, oh, thanks, Geoff. And then they go, oh, Geoff sent me a message. So it's a way of giving them a nudge without sending another message.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's going to wait a day after that and send this simple and sweet little follow on. Hey, Geoff, or hey, Jack, just quick follow up to see if there's a fit. Please let me know. Have a great week. Right? Again, we're not pitching here. We're just asking for a conversation. This message will get more conversations started with you than any other fully written copy. Because and what they'll do, they'll read the message and then they'll scroll up to see,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't realize I missed a couple messages. And they go, oh, that's what they were asking about. No problem. So you want to follow very human behavior. This is something that these strategies are things that we have developed over the years. And this is part of what we do for our clients is to actually help set all of this up and write the copy and identify the prospects and get the whole machine going. But this is where I get to really nerd out. I love technology. I love workflows and automations and everything of that nature. And what's really incredible about what we've developed is we have a direct integration into our CRM. So I hope everybody on this call is using some form of a CRM to track your leads and your prospects and your contacts. And if not, we have one of those too. But what we've done is we've connected her CRM to the link sync system. So now I can pull in, this might seem a little overwhelming, but we created a workflow automation in her CRM. And what this means is that now, as the system starts sending out invites to connect, when people accept that invite to connect, and this, again, I apologize, I'm nerding out here. So if this is a little bit like overwhelming to some people, in the CRM, we've created a workflow that says when somebody connects with you, when a new connection occurs, transfer that lead into the CRM, assign it to Ashley, send a welcome email that says, hey, thanks for the connection on LinkedIn. My name's Ashley Miller, director at operations of a 50C, yada, yada, yada. Again, we're using another channel now. So now we've got the automation running on LinkedIn, and now we've got a drip email campaign running as well. So this is a 1-2 where we send the first one, and then we wait. We check to see if the email was read. And if the email was read, we don't do any more. If the email was not read, we send this very similar email with a different subject line as a secondary follow-up. And that's it. That's the whole workflow. We could add a whole lot more to this, but this is a very, very simple example of LinkedIn follow-up that we do with every single one of our accounts that we connect. Reason why? LinkedIn is a busy place.
And you want to put them in your own database.
Exactly. You want to get that lead out of LinkedIn and into an environment you can control. Yeah, Hunter.
So really, really great workflow. Just so everyone's aware on here, what this is, because Geoff built these and he's built a whole bunch, and we've worked through some of the logic. The beauty of this is that you're not doing anything. We've installed automations or AI to read for a response. Did somebody open the email? Did somebody reply to the email? Did nothing happen? Right. So this is all happening in the background, and the folks that are using our system, what they can do is use their time effectively, because now they have an email in their work inbox that's replied to, and that's when it gets sent in. Right. The other part to it that I really want to hit on before we go to the next piece here is Pam's kind of told me a lot of the folks on this call are smart entrepreneurs that are building businesses and looking to scale. So something to keep in mind too, when we work with these companies, the smaller teams and the bigger teams, it gets more critical as the sales team gets bigger. When you're using LinkedIn, or when you have folks using LinkedIn, you want that data to ultimately go back to the company that you own. And what we found is that companies that have bigger sales teams, they might have opportunities, they're almost there, but most sales folks don't enter them until they're ready to be closed or getting ready to be closed. And then they'll put the notes in and they'll put all the stuff in, right? What happens when a seller from your organization in the future, when you're making $10 million a year, you have 10 sellers, and then your prime seller gets offered away and they have all this data in the CRM that's just about to go in. What do they do with that data? Do they hand it over and say, oh, by the way, I've been working for you for the last 5 years and I'm going to surrender all of this? Or do they take that and put it right in their book with the next spot they're going to, right? So these tools can also be very useful because you can pull in all this data. You're automating the data that now you own as the business owner.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all that information. You can continue to progress that regardless of if the seller is there on your team or not.
Yep. Exactly. Own your data. And especially if you're paying for Sales Navigator for your team and you're spending this money to acquire these leads and opportunities. And if you don't have them in your CRM, then you will lose them when they walk away. And that's a lot of money wasted. So take a look here. This is what we call an opportunity pipeline. We created this opportunity pipeline for David. David is a part of the same organization. Now, David started running his LinkedIn automation campaign just a short while ago. So I wanted to show you the example of Ashley, who's just getting started and hasn't sent any invites yet. This is what it looks like. This is what her LinkedIn opportunity pipeline will look like in probably a couple of months, maybe even less than that. You can see new connections, 155 new connections generated, and every one of those automatically extracted out of LinkedIn and here as a new opportunity, in this case for David. Now, when somebody responds to one of those automated emails, or if they respond in LinkedIn and positively engage, this lead will automatically move from new connection to engaged. So now you've got a list of who's talking, who do I need to reach out to, who have I booked meetings with, who have been qualified, who have been disqualified, and so on. This whole pipeline we set up for you. We create all of this and we create the statuses and everything so that this is all happening. The only thing David has to do every day now is log into the CRM, go to his opportunities and go, okay, who do I need to talk to? These are my hot ones, these are my cold ones, and then he goes to link synced, and in the inbox here you can see all of the ongoing messages that are happening. This is for Ashley. Let me switch to David real quick. These are the conversations that our system has started for David. All of these green envelopes mean new incoming response. So if I click on one of these, and he's given me permission to do this, by the way, I asked him ahead of time on this call. See what happened here? Thanks for connecting with me. I'd love to invite you, etc. Look at this. I would love to help in any way that I can. What a great response to a cold outreach. So at this point, our job is done. My system stops, the automation stops. We're not going to try to pretend to be David. David gets a notification, hey, you've got a new hot live opportunity in your pipeline. You need to respond to Nicole. So that's the system. This is what we do. And we do have several other tools and techniques that I'm going to be training you on in coming webinars, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys with everything. I know this is a lot to absorb. But let me jump in.
Just real quick about Nicole and David. So when he responds back to her, is he responding back to her via LinkedIn message box or through the email?
He could respond right here and just write a message back, and this will send through LinkedIn. So if he wants to respond through LinkedIn, which would be appropriate, he would probably respond something like, hey, Nicole, let's go ahead and connect over a quick 15-minute Zoom. Here's my link to schedule an appointment.
But he does have, but they're already also in the CRM anyway, too, as well. Okay, good.
Exactly.
In both places.
Now, all automations at this point have stopped because she's engaged. So now it really falls on him to nurture the conversation from there. But he could absolutely send an email. He could send a message back through LinkedIn, but it's going to be an authentic one-to-one conversation at that point. Let me touch on video. If you guys aren't using video, this is the secret sauce.
I love video.
I have cracked the code on prospecting with video in LinkedIn because nobody else is doing it. our system, this is another tool that we offer, video.wondery.com. This is another tool we offer that will automatically help you record a video and generate these landing pages where people can click to reply back via email, call you, or schedule a meeting with you.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you put this link in your messages. Watch what happens when I send a link to somebody. Hunter, it's going to be you. Look at that. This is
Mm.
how it appears when you send this message to someone. This GIF automatically plays, and then they can click it and go, what does Geoff have to say?
Right.
And what this video says is absolutely tailored to exactly that person, that audience. Because, for example, we know we're targeting veteran-owned podcast owners. I can click one button, it goes to record, and I say, hey, thanks so much for the LinkedIn connection. I noticed you're a podcast owner and also a veteran, and I really want to talk to you. We run a nonprofit organization, and we're hoping to spotlight and feature some of the things and the amazing stories that we have on your podcast. If you've got a few minutes, click that button below that says my calendar, snag 15 minutes. Let's chat about it. I would love to talk to you soon.
Mm-hmm.
There it
That
is.
is, that way they know it's not a robot, not a
Yeah.
chatbot. It's
Yeah,
actually you.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and people always tell me, they're like, well, do I need a script and does it need to be professional? Absolutely not. It's better if it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And think of it as a video voicemail.
Yeah.
Literally, they didn't pick up the phone. So you tell them why you called.
Right.
That's all you need to say here. Tell them why you called. So
Mm-hmm.
you can knock these out for each audience every time you run a search and you say, okay, I got 550 people who are in the United States, who are podcast owners, who are veterans. Before I activate my sequence, I'm going to go record a quick video, pop that into one of the messages so that throughout the sequence, which I
You can
showed you.
add it.
So here in the sequence that we're in David's right now, but I could embed a video, like for example, right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that way it would autoplay along with the message.
Cool.
I'm not overcomplicating it. Video is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Video works. Our video tool also will do video testimonials from your clients. You can send them a link. They can record a video for you that you can share on social media. It's really, really powerful.
Oh, that is fast.
I want to jump to the end because I know I want to answer questions and things like that. So I'm just going to pop up this slide. That can sit there for a second. And Pam, I'm going to let you chat a little bit about what we're offering.
Oh my God. I love this. This is Geoff, this is really good. So the Wondery has the link synced. And if that has not been a game changer, like for real, for real. And like you said, you can use this for media. So think about, I'm always talking to the people in Ready, Set, Go, Speak. Reach out to the media, reach out to the media. This will do it for you. You won't feel overwhelmed. It will send videos for you to the media and say, hey, I'd love to be on your show. Tamara Hall, Sherry Shepherd, whoever you want to send it to, because you can find, you'll put in some keywords. Geoff will show you how to do that and find all of those people. And so for those who are going to sign up this evening, go to the wondery.com/Pam Perry. If you're not in Ready, Set, Go, Speak, which is a year-long membership program where I am, is part mastermind, a little bit of mentoring, a lot of media. It's a community where we support and endorse each other. We make recommendations and referrals to each other, with each other, a lot of collaboration. We share secrets that aren't found anywhere else. It's not a Facebook group, but it's separate. Ready, Set, Go, Speak. And the point of it is really getting you ready, set to go and speak on more stages and in what I call superstar places. So if you join this evening, you also get that as well. And that's for a year. If you're already a member, we will have another conversation because I will give you $2,500 worth of media opportunities if you join Link Sync as well. So you get the Link Sync and $2,500 bonus from Pam. Okay, because I really want you all to make this work. These tools are out here. You just don't know what you don't know, but now you know.
Exactly. So I'm just going to show you, if you scan that QR code or go to that website, this is the page. So you'll know you're in the right place. First option here is the profile optimization conversation. If you need us to help you with this, if you want us to do it and bring our expertise, I've discounted this down from 300 to 97 for you guys. And like I said, I'm also going to give you the guide. So if you want to do it yourself, totally for free, no problem. It's yours. That's going to follow up in an email after this. But if you want us to help you with it, that's option number one. Next is link synced automation. Now it runs $39.97, regularly over 5,000. This is $39.97 for the entire year. That covers the cost of the software, one license with your LinkedIn profile. So we connect to any LinkedIn profile you want to use. It also includes the initial onboarding and strategy session. That's where we're going to go through, make sure your profile's optimized, identify your list of prospects, write your copy, get your sequences all set up, pull your list into the system and get it turned on. It also includes the connection to your CRM. So if we're going to be integrating into your CRM, and I provide you with all the templates, email templates, and things like that as well. If you're using our CRM, which is going to be a seamless integration, you're also going to get my pre-configured snapshot, which will have all my workflows and things like that built into it automatically. And we can talk about if you need a CRM, reach out to me right down here, schedule a one-on-one meeting. If you just want to talk and say, hey, Geoff, how would this work for me in my situation? And we need to have that 30-minute session before you pull the trigger, totally understand. Book a meeting with me. We'll talk. We'll come up with the plan. But in addition to what I already told you, the 4 quarterly strategy sessions are included. So every 3 months, we're going to meet. We're going to go through your campaigns. We're going to look at your analytics. We're going to determine the effectiveness in the outreach, make any appropriate adjustments, refill the hopper with new leads and prospects. So that's going to be every quarter for the entire year. We'll kind of keep circling back around and make sure that this thing continues to work for you. And you're not just super excited about it on day one, and then it becomes this thing that you forget about 2 months from now. I won't let that happen.
This is good.
That's it, guys. That's everything. I would love to open it up to some questions.
I wish I would have had this a year ago. Would have saved me so much time and gray hairs. But I have it now, so that's the thing. The thing of it is that you can prospect with this for different products or services or launches that you have. So if you want it just for media, podcasts, you could do that. If you want to just reach out to people for another service that you're doing, if it's your coaching program, you could do that. So it's a way to really maximize and leverage what you're doing. So one of the things that I work with a television station, and so we're booking guests for that TV station. So I'm going to be looking for the people who would match that particular prospect versus another type of prospect that I'm looking for, authors or speakers or things like that. So you want to make sure that you use it and use it smartly. But that's why you would sit with Geoff and really get the strategy session on how best to use it. This is unclear. I got that we need to put it into Word. Oh, he's just saying he's just saying how to wash your Chat GPT. And basically it's putting it into the Word document and then taking it and repasting it out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually a Google Drive user, so I use Google Sheets more than I do Word. And they have a feature, I think on both, but definitely on Google Drive, where you can, I should probably share screen here. Huh? We open up a point.
I like
Google
Docs.
document.
And you can also too
Google
by
Docs.
putting it in Google Docs, but also too you can put it into your email as well. So if you take it out of there, okay, allow you to share, you can actually put it into your the message box of your email as well. That'll clean it as well. But whatever it is, you don't take it native from chat and put it wherever. You're going to clean it. You're going to put it somewhere else. So you're going to put it on a Google Docs, Word. If you're a Word person, you put it.
You've got to do one more thing. So once you've added it, once you've pasted it to the doc, you want to highlight it and then remove formatting. So that's that little T with the X through it right there. You click on remove formatting and it will strip away all the behind the scenes stuff.
So let's assume that I take this text here and I grabbed it from GPT, right? And then I go in here and I paste it in. It's going to have that
Googly.
micro code on it that you're
Mm,
not going to be able to see. But now I'm going to select it all, and then I'm going to hit this clear formatting, and now it should be good to go.
mhm.
Nice.
I showed that to Mark. He was like, "How do you learn all that stuff?" I said, "I be listening to people
Right.
because we don't wake up knowing this stuff." Okay, that's why it's part. Is you got to be a part of the community and sit with folks that know this stuff. Even if they're only like a week ahead of you, you still like it'll take you less time. So yeah, that is so true because it will what they were, I guess, shadow ban you, or the algorithms will know it's chat, those kind of things. So
Absolutely.
even
Pam,
though we have, yeah.
the other part too is, and to the audience here, imagine what an advantage you're going to have over the people that don't know that are competing against you in about a year and a half when they're using all their SEO keywords, they're getting passed over while all yours are getting read as legitimate.
Mhm.
So, these are, yeah, absolutely. These are the little things that we work with partners like Pam Perry to bring these deals from mid-market, these concepts that we built for companies that are 10 to $30 million companies with pretty decent sized sales organizations, understand their need, their pains, the problems that they have, the data collection issues, and bring them right back into small business so that you guys can start off with the right foundation, the right skills, and then grow and not have to do a data migration later. And
Mhm.
and trust me when I tell you, you would not believe how much it costs to do a data migration with like a 10 years or 15 years worth of data. And from our standpoint too, I was wondering when we get asked to do that, Geoff and I look at each other and we go, "Do we want to do this?" That's the first question that we actually ask ourselves. So building from the ground up correctly not only gives you the fundamentals to gather this data and to put information out, but also to build on that so you don't have to rebuild the system later. It's really
Mhm.
important if you're going to be in business for a long time. Sorry, Pam.
And one of the things too, and this is because I'm a publicist, is that this system could replace what if you were to just do media. So there's like Cision, which is part of PR Newswire, that whole system. So they have one, and it's just for only media. So if you want to reach out for coaching clients or those kind of things, it will do this as well. So say for instance, if I'm just looking for media and I'm using Cision, it will do similar things, but my database is just only that. So this is everything. This is everything. This is not just for your media outreach, but it's also for your sales outreach. And it's also, maybe it can be for collaboration opportunities as well. So you
So
think of it holistically.
there's a couple different use cases that it's really important to spotlight because everybody on this call has different needs, different goals, and there may be one thing that's higher priority to you than to somebody else. So the different applications of a system like this, one is you can target your first degree network. So imagine like Pam has 20,000 people in her network. She can run a search and say, show me all my first degree contacts, filter those by people in real estate. Now she's got a list of real estate specific people who are already connected with her that we can now target with messaging and engage with without waiting and without taking time to send invites. It's just immediate engagement. So say she wanted to host a webinar that was targeting a specific niche. She could just promote that directly through messaging to all of her clients, all of her first degree contacts. The second application is what I just showed you. So it's how to find new prospects using those second and third degree contacts. And the third isn't about sales at all. It's not about lead prospecting for sales. It's about strategic partnerships. It's about connecting you with people in your organization who may be a great referral source. This is actually one of the most effective ways, and this is why Hunter and I connected. I didn't reach out to Hunter and say, I want to sell you something. I reached out to him and said, hey, you're in marketing. I've got great tools for marketing. We should partner up. I want to sell my stuff to your clients. And that's how we got talking, was because he didn't see me as a person trying to pitch him something. He saw me as somebody bringing value that he could sell to his clients and put more money in his pocket. Now, as it ended up, he ended up buying my software, which is great. But
Buying a lot of it too.
yeah, But the angle that we approached the relationship was one that was safe, it was strategic, and easier for him to say yes to. So those are the three strategies. If you're going to think about what you want to do on LinkedIn, you're either targeting your existing network if you have one to engage them right away. You're going for new leads and opportunities by targeting people based on the filters that I shared with you, or you're going strategic. And crazy enough, you can do all three at once. You can run more than one campaign. So we can have one campaign targeting first, another campaign targeting your contacts, and another campaign going after strategic partners.
So I just showed this really, really quick, Geoff. This is my LinkedIn, and my followers are 31,000. Now, I don't have it allowed so that people can directly connect with me. They have to know my email. And you can set it up like that because that way I'm not getting that sort of thing. But this is just the followers. It doesn't even show the connections, which altogether is about 85,000. There's no way that I would have to be on LinkedIn all day if I'm trying to message all these folks by hand. Okay. And I couldn't keep up with it. So that's why this system works.
And this is why the filters are so important. Yeah. And it's why those filters are so important because in the world of LinkedIn, and if you're using automation, you run the risk of looking disingenuous if you're just sending the same message to a broad audience, a generic message to a broad audience. So what we want to do is we want to take that list of yours and narrow it down to very, very high concentrate groups of people and send unique messaging specifically to them so they feel like you're talking one-to-one. That's the strategy. That's how you get conversations started in LinkedIn, not by just sending out mass high volume messages with generic engagement. It just won't work. There's too
And I
many
like
people.
that time zone piece too, that you thought that through too. That was kind of nerdy, but I liked it.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well, we're gonna put it in the time zone. It's like, okay, so if I
Yep.
send out, because you're in California, so you're 3
Yeah.
hours behind us, right? Because it's about 8 o'clock
Yep.
here. So it's 8 o'clock. So, if I want to send something to you at 9 a.m., it would be 6 a.m. for you in the morning. You know that kind
Exactly.
of. So that kind of shows the business part of the LinkedIn because you're just setting it up just between business hours of that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the most common one of the most common messages I get to some of my campaigns is, "Hey, how did you do that with that video?" Like that's their response. It's actually not about anything else that I've asked them about. They just go, "Man, that was a cool video. How did you do that?" I'm like, "Hey, let's talk."
Yeah, yeah, that
All
is
right,
pretty
Pam.
cool. I love that.
It is 8 o'clock your time and dinner time here as well. So I think we've
Snack
thoroughly
time.
covered this topic. And there is going to be more. We have several other tools that all work as part of this initiative. We're going to be talking about the CRM, how to use a CRM, how to set your CRM up, how to create these automations to ensure that new leads and opportunities are getting managed properly. And then we're going to be talking about AI. So we have amazing AI tools built into our systems. And so we're going to be going through a number of different strategies and things you can use AI for, including my AI brand builder. My AI brand
Mm.
builder is unlike anything you've ever seen before, and it will help you manage all aspects of your business. So that one's going to be really exciting. So we'll let you know when we
Okay.
get that.
And the thing about AI is that it is so volatile right now. It's changing so fast. So you want to be ahead of the curve and not behind. So we did LinkedIn first. We can get started with that. That's LinkedIn's pretty consistent. And then we'll move on to the other pieces as well. But we didn't want to start out with something that's like so brand new that it's like, ooh, this is overwhelming. So let's do LinkedIn first and then move through the other ones as well. And we all set.
What is the expression? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at
One
a
bite at a
time.
time. One bite at a time.
Exactly.
That is for
So
sure.
we're trying to dose it out in small bite-sized chunks because I understand Technology is intimidating. Learning a new piece of software is always intimidating. I will guarantee you the one thing you'll find about us is we don't sell software. We provide the service of implementing and executing and ensuring that that tool is working for you.
Mhm.
The software is no good to you if you don't know how to use it or feel overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
we really focus on your onboarding, you're getting your hands on it, making sure you know what you're doing, and we ensure that everything is set up properly.
Hmm. And so before the next webinar, make sure that you go to the link as well. Geoff has his booking link on there as well. And at the very least, do the optimization of the LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That will be the best thing you could ever do, because I'm telling you, when I optimized my LinkedIn, that's how I started getting all these requests. And that's why I kind of turned it off in a way. I was like, you know what? I only want it if you know my email. And they can still follow me, but they can't really connect with me. So you want to
Yeah, and
optimize.
I'm actually going to put the link to the profile optimization guide in
Oh, there
the
it is
chat. So
for
if
the Google
anybody
Doc.
wants to just take that now, I'll send it
Hmm.
in an email tomorrow morning.
Hmm.
But if you want it now, take it. It's yours.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
that is cool.
I've got one parting thing for everyone here. If you're unsure about what this tool can do and the power that it can provide for you, I want you to take Friday tomorrow, see how many people you can connect with, and see how many of these messages you can get out by the end of the day. Do
Whew.
your normal work day, but also task yourself, how many can I get out in one day? And then write that number down and look at that number, and we'll show you stats of what we can do on the next one. We'll bring some stats and let's compare a day to a day, right? So that you see the power of that. And I'm telling you, it is completely different what this tool can do and what you're
Oh,
going to
thank
be
you,
able to do
Tracy.
during the
Tracy
weekend.
said she signed up. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, and not only do you can you send them out, but then you got to follow up, right? That's the tough part. That's the
How
All
do
tough
you
right,
keep
part.
track of them all, right?
Yeah. How
How
you
do you
keep
keep track of
track of
everything?
them? That
Hunter,
is, you saw how
because you
many I
brought
had.
this up, I got to share this. I didn't go into any analytics. I probably should have. I got to share this. So take a look. This is David's account. This is the gentleman who just got started a little while ago with this initiative and already has the results in his pipeline. Last month in April, sent 653 connection requests. We got 240 of those accepted and generated 63 new conversations for him in
Wow.
automatically.
In just the month of April?
That's just April, and it sent 1,166 or did 1,166 profile views and almost 400 messages, all on his behalf, all automatically. All he has to do is wait for the response to come back in. And these are the campaign results: 37% acceptance rate, 9% response rate. These are great metrics. And this one here will just get better because not everybody responds the first day you send a message.
Mhm.
Responses will trickle in over the next coming weeks. So these will both start to continue to go up. And again, 28%, 8%. My metric, what I'm looking for, a healthy campaign, 30% acceptance rate, and about half that number in response rate. So I would go for 30 and 15. You
Mhm.
can see he's not there yet, but it's in the zone of being healthy.
Oh,
I've
that
had
is
reps at
good.
Enterprise that have sold over $20 million a year with 1% to 2%. And those are big contracts, but I'm just
Right.
saying
Right.
that it depends on who you're going after and so on. But to have 35, 30, 25%, that's huge.
Conversion. Hmm.
If you get 10%, it's huge. Trust me. So
Right.
these are things that, Geoff's been doing this a long time. Geoff and I have batted around ideas. Of course, we worked on the product and we worked on the tuning with a lot of different companies. And again, we're bringing that all back to you. So at a minimum, make sure you read the guide, update your profiles, book a call with Geoff. It's free to book a call. Go get some more information. See how it works for you.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, thank you. Thank you, guys. This has been really, really good. So we will do this next month. You'll get the email as well to let them know. But Dr. Angela, I see your things thinking here over here because she's on a whole nother trajectory right now. So this is the thing that she needs. So yeah, to reach out to people and do the things. A lot of it has to do with those keywords. So sit down with the strategy, book a call with Jeff.
Pam, thanks for having
Looking
us
forward
on.
to it.
Really appreciate it.
All righty.
Thank you,
Thank you. I'm
Pam.
gonna
Thanks,
stop the
everyone.
Everybody for
recording.
being here.